you've been badly burned before, trusting your gut can feel impossible. In the dating world, you might be on hyper alert, overanalyzing everything, constantly scanning for red flags, or doing the total opposite and disconnecting, avoiding closeness altogether. So when people give you dating advice to just trust your intuition, that can feel a little dismissive or even reckless. Because what if your gut constantly feels noisy, contradictory, or just straight up unreliable? So if you feel unsure of your signals or in your ability to trust in yourself, your intuition isn't broken. You just haven't learned how to hear it yet. Today, we're talking about why you haven't been able to follow your gut and how that confusion is really a sign of protection, not broken instinct. Let's get into it. In the last video, we talked about differences between anxiety and intuition. Similar sensations, but very different states. But for a lot of people, intuition signals have been muted, distorted, or drowned out entirely. So when you're told to just follow your intuition and you've never had a positive experience of being guided by it, it can feel frustrating or even a little scary. You might wonder, did I lose it? Was I ever intuitive at all? Often what's happening is your nervous system is using past pain to interpret the present as a form of protection. Old experiences get projected forward. So something neutral, like space, silence, or uncertainty, can begin to feel threatening. You've been in relationships where something felt wrong and you ignored it. You gaslit yourself to keep the peace. You stayed because you hoped things would change. You'd been betrayed by someone who said they just needed a little bit of space, and then they fell off the face of the earth. You tried to give someone the benefit of the doubt when they were a little distant, and then it turns out they had a whole ass family and a double life. You stayed in something that felt painfully uncertain for far too long, and then you felt like you wasted years of your life when it ended poorly. And after enough of that, your system stopped knowing which signals to trust. So it makes total sense that when you take these experiences into consideration, it can cloud what's presently here. First of all, if these signals are distorted or undetected in you, there's nothing wrong with you. Difficulty sensing and trusting your gut is often linked to trauma, dissociation, neurodivergence, or even chronic emotional invalidation. From a neuroscience perspective, the insula, or insular cortex, the region of the brain that detects the body's internal signals, that might be underactive, not defective. This capacity can be strengthened, and we'll practice that later on in this series with some mindfulness-based work. For many of us, intuition became blurred early on in life. You may have grown up in an authoritarian household, or in strict religious or patriarchal systems, or in an environment where blind obedience was expected and questions were punished. You were taught, directly or indirectly, that your perceptions couldn't be trusted, that your body was wrong, that your instincts were sinful, dramatic, or inconvenient to someone else. So to stay connected, you had to discredit or override yourself and those quiet internal signals that may have sounded like, something feels off, something feels wrong, I don't feel safe here, this doesn't make sense for me. And instead, you defaulted to someone else, their authority, their certainty, their interpretation of morality or reality. That kind of blind obedience is dangerous for a child. And in adulthood, it looks like entering into a relationship with someone who has strong convictions and assumes leverage over you. And then you're not sure what you're allowed to feel, what you're allowed to say, or how much space you're allowed to take up. So if you feel disconnected from your gut, unsure of your signals, or how to trust yourself, just know that your intuition isn't gone. It's been overridden by fear, conditioning, and survival strategies that you relied on to stay safe. And the fact is that you're here now, learning how to slow down and how to better interpret these signals. And that's some serious recalibration, my friend. Give yourself some grace for sticking with the process. And in the next video, we'll talk about why intuition gets overridden, even when we sense it clearly, especially when we want something really badly. And I'll see you there.